Module 5, Cryptography and PKI, Set 2. DSA, Digital Signature Algorithm. The Digital Signature Algorithm, DSA, is a federal information processing standard for digital signatures, based on the mathematical concept of modular exponentiation and the discrete logarithm problem. DSA is a variant of the Schneer and El-Gamal signature schemes. Diffie-Hellman. Diffie-Hellman key exchange establishes a shared secret between two parties that can be used for secret communication for exchanging data over a public network. Groups. In computing, the term group generally refers to a grouping of users. The entire group can be granted access to the appropriate directory. To add or remove an account, one must only need to do it in one place, in the definition of the group, rather than on every directory. DHE, Diffie-Hellman Ephemeral. Diffie-Hellman Ephemeral, DHE, is a modification of the Diffie-Hellman key exchange that used static keys. A cryptographic key is called ephemeral if it is generated for each execution of a key exchange process. Diffie-Hellman ephemeral is defined within RFC 5246. Elliptic curve cryptography, ECC. Elliptic curve cryptography, ECC, is a key-based technique for encrypting data. ECC focuses on pairs of public and private keys for decryption and encryption of web traffic. PGP, Pretty Good Privacy, /GPG, GNU Privacy Guard. Pretty Good Privacy, PGP, is an encryption program that provides cryptographic privacy and authentication for data communication. PGP is used for signing, encrypting, and decrypting texts, emails, files, directories, and whole disk partitions, and to increase the security of email communications. PGP, Pretty Good Privacy. Pretty Good Privacy, PGP, is a data encryption protocol that uses a combination of symmetric and asymmetric encryption to allow two parties to confidentially exchange data. PGP also allows a receiver to authenticate the identity of a sender and verifies that the message was not altered in transit. GPG, GNU Privacy Guard. GNU Privacy Guard, GNU PG or GPG, is a free software replacement for Symantec's PGP cryptographic software suite. It is compliant with RFC 4880, the IETF standards track specification of OpenPGP. Modern versions of PGP are interoperable with GNU PG and other open compliance systems. Hashing algorithms. Hashing is the transformation of a string of characters into a usually shorter fixed-length value or key that represents the original string. Hashing is used to index and retrieve items in a database because it is faster to find the item using the shorter hashed key than to find it using the original value. MD5, Message Digest Algorithm V5. The MD5 Message Digest algorithm is a widely used hash function producing a 128-bit hash value. MD5 was designed by Ronald Rivest in 1991 to replace an earlier hash function MD4, and was specified in 1992 as RFC 1321. SHA, Secure Hash Algorithm. In cryptography, SHA-1, Secure Hash Algorithm 1, is a cryptographic hash function which takes an input and produces a 160-bit, 20-byte, hash value known as a message digest, typically rendered as a hexadecimal number, 40 digits long. As of 2020, chosen prefix attacks against SHA-1 are practical. HMAC, Hash-Based Message Authentication Code. In cryptography, an HMAC, sometimes expanded as either Keyed Hash Message Authentication Code or Hash-Based Message Authentication Code, is a specific type of message authentication code, MAC, involving a cryptographic hash function and a secret cryptographic key. Key stretching algorithms. In cryptography, key stretching techniques are used to make a possibly weak key, typically a password or passphrase, more secure against a brute force attack by increasing the resources, time and possibly space it takes to test each possible key. There are several ways to perform key stretching. Bcrypt. Bcrypt is a password hashing function designed by Niels Provos and David Maziers, based on the Blowfish cipher and presented at Usenix in 1999. The Bcrypt function is the default password hash algorithm for OpenBSD and other systems including some Linux distributions such as SUSE Linux. PBKDF2, password-based key derivation function 2. In cryptography, PBKDF1 and PBKDF2, password-based key derivation function 1 and 2, are key derivation functions with a sliding computational cost, used to reduce vulnerabilities to brute force attacks. It supersedes PBKDF1, which could only produce derived keys up to 160 bits long. Obfuscation. In software development, obfuscation is the deliberate act of creating source or machine code that is difficult for humans to understand. XOR, exclusive OR. XOR gate, sometimes EOR or EXOR and pronounced as exclusive OR, is a digital logic gate that gives a true, 1 or high, output when the number of true inputs is odd. An XOR gate implements an exclusive OR, that is, a true output results if one, and only one, of the inputs to the gate is true. Substitution ciphers. In cryptography, a substitution cipher is a method of encrypting in which units of plain text are replaced with cipher text. According to a fixed system, the units may be single letters, the most common, pairs of letters, triplets of letters, mixtures of the above, and so forth. Cryptographic protocols. A security protocol, cryptographic protocol or encryption protocol, is an abstract or concrete protocol that performs a security-related function and applies cryptographic methods, often as sequences of cryptographic primitives. WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access. Wi-Fi Protected Access, WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access 2, WPA2, and Wi-Fi Protected Access 3, WPA3, are the three security and security certification programs developed by the Wi-Fi Alliance to secure wireless computer networks. WPA, sometimes referred to as the draft IEEE 802.11i standard, became available in 2003. WPA2, Wi-Fi Protected Access v2. Wi-Fi Protected Access, WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access 2, WPA2, and Wi-Fi Protected Access 3, WPA3, are the three security and security certification programs developed by the Wi-Fi Alliance to secure wireless computer networks. WPA, sometimes referred to as the draft IEEE 802.11i standard, became available in 2003. CCMP, Counter Mode with Cipher Blockchaining Message Authentication Code Protocol. CCMP, Counter Mode with Cipher Blockchaining Message Authentication Code Protocol, Counter Mode with Cipher Blockchaining Message Authentication Code Protocol, CCMP, is an encryption protocol that forms part of the 802.11i standard for wireless local area networks, WLANs, particularly those using WiMAX technology. TKIP, Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. Temporal Key Integrity Protocol, TKIP, is a security protocol used in the IEEE 802.11 wireless networking standard. TKIP was designed by the IEEE 802.11i Task Group and the Wi-Fi Alliance as an interim solution to replace WEP without requiring the replacement of legacy hardware. Authentication protocols. An authentication protocol is a type of computer communications protocol or cryptographic protocol specifically designed for transfer of authentication data between two entities. It is the most important layer of protection needed for secure communication within computer networks. EAP, Extensible Authentication Protocol. Extensible Authentication Protocol, EAP, is an authentication framework, not a specific authentication mechanism, frequently used in wireless networks and point-to-point connections. It provides some common functions and negotiation of authentication methods called EAP methods. PEAP, Protected Extensible Authentication Protocol. The Protected Extensible Authentication Protocol, also known as Protected EAP or simply PEAP, is a protocol that encapsulates the Extensible Authentication Protocol, EAP, within an encrypted and authenticated transport layer security, TLS, tunnel. EAP Fast, EAP Flexible Authentication with Secure Tunneling. What is EAP Fast? Flexible Authentication via Secure Tunneling, EAP Fast, is a protocol proposed by Cisco Systems as a replacement for previously proposed Lightweight Extensible Authentication Protocol, LEAP. EAP Fast was designed to address the weaknesses of LEAP while preserving its lightweight implementation. EAP-TLS, EAP Transport Layer Security. EAP Transport Layer Security, EAP-TLS, defined in RFC 5216, is an IETF open standard that uses the Transport Layer Security, TLS, protocol, and is well supported among wireless vendors. EAP-TLS is the original, standard wireless LAN EAP authentication protocol. IEEE 802.1x. IEEE 802.1x is an IEEE standard for port-based network access control, PNAC. It is part of the IEEE 802.1 group of networking protocols. It provides an authentication mechanism to devices wishing to attach to a LAN or WLAN. Methods. A method in object-oriented programming, OOP, is a procedure associated with a message and an object. An object consists of data and behavior. These comprise an interface, which specifies how the object may be utilized by any of its various consumers. PSK, Pre-shared key. In cryptography, a pre-shared key, PSK, is a shared secret which was previously shared between the two parties using some secure channel before it needs to be used. Enterprise. Enterprise computing is a buzzword that refers to business-oriented information technology that is critical to a company's operations. Enterprise computing encompasses all the various types of enterprise software, including database management, relationship management, and so on. Open. Open systems are computer systems that provide some combination of interoperability, portability, and open software standards. It can also refer to specific installations that are configured to allow unrestricted access by people and/or other computers. This article does not discuss that meaning. WPS. Wi-Fi Protected Setup, WPS, originally, Wi-Fi Simple Config, is a network security standard to create a secure wireless home network. The flaw allows a remote attacker to recover the WPS pin in a few hours with a brute force attack and, with the WPS pin, the network's WPA/WPA2 pre-shared key, PSK. Captive portals. A captive portal is a web page accessed with a web browser that is displayed to newly connected users of a Wi-Fi or wired network before they are granted broader access to network resources.